Help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content. All right, it's official. The Cleveland Browns now own the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. That is where they'll be selecting. They'll be selecting behind the Tennessee Titans. Now, the big question with the Tennessee Titans is, will they go quarterback? They drafted Will Levis, I believe, 2 years ago. Second round, early in the second round. They seem to be locked in with him as the guy. We'll see if they want to continue doing that after this season. 2 seasons is usually enough for a team to give up on a quarterback prospect if they don't feel like they've seen a ton from that guy. So maybe they decide to move on from the second round project, Will Levis, and go after one of these guys in the draft. If you are a Browns fan, you want the top 5, the top 7 to get as quarterback crazy as possible, because that broadens the options available to you if you're the Cleveland Browns. Because the Browns should probably avoid going after quarterback in this draft. I think most teams should avoid going after quarterbacks in this draft. I don't believe the 2 quarterbacks that people are talking about going in the first round to be of the better of 15 prospects in this draft. So I would stay away. But if other teams want to do it, that does mean the guys that I feel like are at the top of this draft class could be available if at 2. Right. And you could have your selection at 2 be the number 1 overall player on a lot of people's boards here. So lots to look into, lots to get excited about. And the draft will be very important. Now, I don't know if this means that the Browns will be coaches at the Senior Bowl, too, because usually the coaching staffs that get sent to the Senior Bowl, at least it used to work that way, were the staffs from the number 1 and 2 teams, or the teams picking number 1 and 2 overall. I don't know how that works anymore. I think they send like a smattering of coaches now instead of it just being one staff on both sides. But we'll see how they handle the Senior Bowl this year. What we do know, Browns picking second. So let's do a mock draft, right? 7-round mock draft. Browns picking second. I'm excited about it. You're excited about it. This was all that suffering was for, so you can secure a pick like this. So at least you got a very, very top pick here to start. All right, so in this mock draft scenario, Shedeur Sanders goes number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans, which means everything is available to you. You got Travis Hunter, you got Ted McMillan, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter, Ashton Jeanty, Will Johnson, Kelvin Banks, and everybody's there, right? Basically everybody but Shedeur Sanders. You got some trade back options. Now, New York wants to move up. Carolina wants to move up. The Raiders want to move up. The Jets want to move up. The 49ers want to move up. Got 12 interested partners, which means there's going to be decent leverage here. Here's how I see it. The Browns probably have a packet of 4 players that they want to leave the first round with, given that they have this high of a pick, right? The 4 players that I believe will be in their packet. And when I say packet, I'm saying they want to get one of these 4 players in the first round with where they pick. And that's going to dictate how far back they're willing to go, right? So those 4 players, Mason Graham, Travis Hunter as a DB, Will Johnson, Abdul Carter. I'm telling you, if I'm picking, I'm just taking Abdul Carter. I'm very excited about that at 2. And I'm moving on. But the Browns will likely look into these trade back scenarios because all 4 of these guys are available here, which means you can fall back all the way to 5, pick up some picks, and have it basically guaranteed that you're going to have at least one of your guys on the board. Keep in mind, if you trade this pick back, you would be in communication with whoever you trade back. So let's go with the New York Giants. If I'm trading back with the New York Giants and they're picking at 4, or wherever the Giants end up at the end of the day. But if the Giants are picking at 4 and they want to trade up with me, first things first, I want to know who they're taking. If they're trading up to get somebody who's outside my top four. They want Ted McMillan. If they're telling me that they're trading up to get a quarterback, okay, let's make the swap, knowing that New England at worst can take one of these guys, but once I get the 4, I'm going to have my choice of selection. So I think you would prefer to trade with New York. Now, if you go all the way back to 7 with the Raiders, you might get a better deal. But there's no guarantee that you're going to have one of your most coveted players in this draft available there. So that means that the deal that the Raiders have to offer you, since they're outside the top 5, has to be tremendous. We're talking about a first next year. So the price is probably going to significantly go up outside the top 5 here, right? Especially if the Browns get an inkling that this first round is not going to be as quarterback crazy as some people anticipate. And I think they will, because I don't think a lot of teams are going to go quarterback crazy here. So if we're talking about a trade back here, you would probably prefer to work with New York. Let's see what New York wants to give you, right? Not New York Jets, New York Giants. Okay, 1 to 2. Are they willing to give me 36? They are willing to give you 36. Okay. Like, that might be worth it. Are they willing to give me 68? No, but we can swap with 93. Okay. So if I go to New York and say, hey, this is the deal. You give me 4, I'll give you the second overall pick. We'll swap picks in the first round. You give me 36 and 68, and I'll give you second overall and then 93. And we feel good about that, then we can do that, right? And then maybe we could work out a pick swap here. And then that way I can move up in this one from this 165 pick. So we basically swap a bunch of picks. I get your second and third round pick. You swap with Buffalo to get their third round pick. And then we swap 4th round picks. And then we swap 6th round picks too. That sounds good to them. I would probably be okay with taking this trade. Now, I wonder if the trade stays in the machine. No, it doesn't. Okay, so let's do the same kind of concept. Well, Carolina really doesn't have anything that I'm interested in because they don't have that early second. If I know I can get an early second from the Giants, that changes it. The Raiders do have an early second, but remember, they are so far out of it that I'm not going to just do it for this price. I need that second one from next year. They're not willing to give me that second one unless I take a 3 off the board. So this has a chance of going through. Maybe we can get another 1 from next year, swap down to 7, get 39, pick up 71, and then we'll swap them 93, and then give them some extra picks on the back end here where we would swap. We would swap 108 here. Okay, that's what they would want. I don't like this deal as much as I like the deal that I had worked out with the Giants. All right, so that's the deal we worked out. We switched back to 4. They're likely going to get a quarterback. New England's going to take somebody off our board, but we're going to have options here at 4, right? We pick up 36. We pick up 68. We pick up 105, 153, and we get a couple swaps here that I'm pretty happy with. All right, let's resume the draft. So even better, right? New York trades up. They take Cam Ward. New England gets Ted McMillan, and I still get to get Abdul Carter here. That's who I'm taking. I'm taking Abdul. I'm pretty happy with it, and I got a bunch of picks to move backwards. Now, how does this affect what we're going to do in the second round, right? Because we get to the second round, we're going to see who's available. Got a good corner there in Siobhan Revel. I also have the 36 pick. So what I'm going to look into is some moves here, right? San Francisco wants to move in. Arizona wants to move in. Miami wants to move in. Houston wants to move in. Buffalo wants to move in. Now I'm going to first look at what's available on the board. Quarterback-wise, I'm out. Wide receiver-wise in this round, maybe Isaiah Bond, but I'm guessing Jade is gone and everybody else, the other wide receiver from Texas, is gone too. Okay. Tight end, they got Gunnar Helm, Harold Fanon. I don't mind it. Running back, Cam Scatterboo has shot up these boards lately, and good for him. I think he deserves it. think tackles where I really want to look here, right? Greg Zabel, Charles Grant. Damn, what tackles went? Did both the Oregon guys go? No, Connerly's still here. Johnny's here. I think Josh Simmons went 16th overall. Okay, so tackle, maybe you consider Josh Connerly here. I know I can move back and get him, though. So there's nobody here that I think I need to take right now, or else I won't be able to get him. And remember, I got 1 million picks in this draft, so I could use some of these picks to move up later on. Right? Jack Sawyer, linebacker here. Yeah, I think I'm going to move back because I know I could get whoever I want at 36. So let's see what San Francisco wants to do. 34 for 43. And let's see. I want to get rid of all of these extra picks in the 200s here. So I'll give you 245, 205, and 204. I need to dump those picks off. Will you give me 75? No, you won't. Okay, how about 97? It's another pick in the top 100 for moving back. How about you swap me 153 for 112? And then I can throw you 105. You give me 75. You don't want to do that? All right. How much can I throw in to get 75 here, right? Because right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 selections. I don't need to give up this much. I really don't need to give up any of this. Back here. So I could just give up 153. I wonder if I can get away with giving up 189. I might be able to get away with it. Let's try it. 189. All right, they took it. All right, so I picked up 43. I got 97, 112, and I still pick at 36. You see how just getting that extra second round pick changes everything because you still got all kind of options. I could trade back again if I wanted to. Tyleik Williams is here. I went edge at the top. Tyleik would be best player available. So I'm leaning towards Tyleik here. See, wide receiver, tackle. How many teams need a tackle, though? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I don't think Connerly's going to be off. Like, Mbo is still here. Membu still there. So I know I can get to 43. I could either get Membu or Connerly. I'm fine there. Is there anything that's moving me off of Tyleik Williams here? Running back wise, Scatterboo, no. Cornerbacks. See, let's look at all the offensive players. See if there's any offensive player that's moving me off of that. Is Harold still up there? Maybe Fanon would take me off of that. See, is Fanon Jr. still up there? I don't believe he is. Where did he go in this class? No way he went in the top 10. He's still got to be available. Sorry, let me look for Harold Fanon. Okay, Fanon's here, but you can probably get him later. Gunnar Helm, too, be a good option. So, it's Tyleik or it's trade back. New York wants to pick here at 40. See what they're willing to give me, right? So, I got 43. I can move back 3 spots, still be fine, have some ammo. I really want to offload some of these extra picks, but I want another pick in the top 100, right? I want to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to make 6 selections in the top 100 this year. So let me see if I can get 95, 94 off of you. And let's see what pick I can give up that moves you on that. Okay. Here, 204. 153 moves you. I'm willing to give up 153. Yeah, we give up 153. And then also, let me move up from 112 to 109. Okay, you're really feeling that. How about 204? Oh, yeah, we'll do 105, 109. And then we'll throw in some extra picks if we need. But we'll move back 4 spots because I know the tackles I want are there. The extra picks I want are there. Yeah, I feel good with that. We'll move back. We'll move back here, right? I got Fainin, Gunnar Helm. I got both tackles there. All right, yeah, let's do it. Cool. So I got 40, 94, and I moved up to 109 for 112, and I shipped off 153. Cool. So there it is. Now I have my 6 top 100 selections, right? You want the Browns to add as much talent as possible because remember, the Browns have not had a ton of top 100 picks the last 3 years because of the Deshaun Watson trade and trades they've made around that. So they need to add as much top 100 talent in this draft as possible. You maneuver this way. You're not missing anybody on the board that you would have died to get. Like maybe Siobhan Revel would be that nice for him and they go take him. I think that is something Andrew Berry would consider. He's a really good DB coming out of Eastern Carolina. But Tyleek Williams is a luxury pick. If I can get Tyleek, I'll take Tyleek. But if I could get the 6 top 100, I think I need that more than anything. All right, so I got my 6 top 100 picks. I might try to get 7 because I got all these extra picks. I don't think I need all these extra picks. So we'll keep moving, but that's why I'm maneuvering this way because I want the Browns to be able to add as much starting talent as possible. Somebody took Jalen Milroe at 39. I'm fine with that. Jalen Milroe has a ton to work on before I think he's ready to play in the NFL game, mainly with pocket presence. I think that's the biggest problem that he has right now. All right. We still got 2 second-round selections. It's important to remember that. Tyleek did go off the board. That's okay. All right. This is where you can consider Harold Fainin. This is where you can really consider tackle. Mbu's still here. Connerly's still here. Membu is still here. So Membu is a right tackle. It's something important to remember, right? Pretty good right tackle prospect. Connerly's a left tackle. Both of these guys, I think, have pretty good shots. I want to solve the Browns' tackle problem. So I'm going to go after it pretty aggressively. I'm going to take Membu. I'm going to take Josh Connerly with these next 2 picks. I know PFF doesn't like where these guys are ranked. I like them enough to take them in a second. So we move back. We got our top 100. All right. And right now, the best player on the board is not that different from what I feel about the best tackles on the board. I like Gunnar Helm. I like Jack Sawyer. I like Xavier Watts. But I also like these 2 tackles. So we're going to go these 2 tackles. Let's go Connerly. And now we're going to slow the draft down because I am going to try to get one of these premium tight end picks here, right? So let's go Membu right here. All right. So those are the picks I have. I still got a bunch of picks in the top 100. Jihad Campbell just went. Jack Sawyer just went. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a run on tight end. So I think there's going to be a run on tight ends right at 51. So let's go here. And let's stop at 51. So whatever tight end I want, I got to jump in here to get it. Now, it's going to be hard for me to get this trade here, right? Because I got to convince somebody to move all the way back to 66. So this is where those extra top 100 selections come in play. Now, it's going to be a little bit easier, right? I could throw 105 and 109 here to get 105, 109, and 66. So if I do this, I will have 4 top 100. No, not 4. 4 top 2 round selections. I still have a 3rd round selection from the New York Giants, and I have my 94th pick from Detroit, which is also a 3rd round selection. I got another 3rd round selection from San Francisco. So I will still get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top 100 selections. I still got all these picks in the back end I have to give up. But I don't think I have to give up both 105 and 109. I think I can get away with this if I just give up 205. And maybe I'll sweeten the pot, give you 207. Maybe 245, right? If you're budging a little bit. I'll give you the whole back end of my draft. I don't give a fuck about these 200 picks. So we'll see what happens here, right? Let's offer that trade. They're down with it. Cool. All right, now I get to take whatever tight end I want. The question here between Gunnar Helm and Harold Fainin is upside versus what you know. If you want to get a tight end in this draft class that you know is going to be good, go get Gunnar Helm. If you want to get a tight end here who has a little bit more upside, right, that is Harold Fainin. Because look at Harold Fainin has superstar potential at the position. He's one of the best yards at the catch guys in all of college football. Look at that. Missed forced tackles. Number 1 in college football there. Deep catches. Number 9 in college football. Keep in mind, the Browns are moving back to the twin tight end looks that they used to run a ton with Stefanski. Now, another thing that they might value is run blocking. You look at Harold Fainin, he's not a bad run blocker, but he's coming out the MAC. So it's questionable whether that's going to translate. We look at Gunnar Helm, he's not a very good run blocker in the SEC. So, okay, that helps shore up the decision. I'm going to go Harold Fainin. Now, Pro Football Focus is not going to love this pick. I do not care. I love this pick. I'm going Harold Fainin. That is somebody who has that run blocking potential that you want from a tight end. He has the superstar potential of somebody who could be great after the catch. And if you're a Browns offense going into a year where you're not sure about the quarterback position, you want to add some tight ends to the roster that you feel really good about. So, bam, let's get Harold Fainin. Let's get the hell out of here. So we drafted Harold Fainin. That is the move that we made. Now we're waiting on 68. Remember, we made all those trade backs and moves. So guys are going to be available here, right? Now, I just saw Restrepo went off the board. So did Bond. Now we're sitting at 68. Now let's look at who we already got. We got Connerly. We got Membu. We took care of the offensive line. We feel good about it. Remember, we drafted Zinter last year. So now we got 3 new guys who can come in. Maybe Mbu can play guard. Maybe Mbu plays tackle. Maybe he does both. Harold Fainin, you got tight end, locked up. So you feel pretty good about what you've added to the offense. You feel great about what you added to the defense because your defense wasn't weak to begin with, but you feel great with Abdul Carter there. All right. So we look around. Cam Scatterboo is the highest rated player on this board. So that would be the first guy that I would look at. I know Dylan Gabriel's here, but I am team wait till after pick 90 to pick a quarterback. Wide receiver wise, Tez Johnson is here. I don't really see him as a fit, but it's probably the best player on the board at this point, or at least from this point in my research. I got more to do with wide receiver. Tight end wise, you're good. You're pretty good on offensive line. Corner would be somewhere to look at. I don't think, well, do they think lowly of Makuba in this draft? No, they don't, because he's already gone. Okay. Safety, well, he might be a safety in this one. Safety, there are a couple guys I like. Kevin Winston Jr., Lathan Ransom, Andrew Makuba. I think I like those guys a lot. I think you could potentially push Cam Mitchell out the boundary corner, have him back up Martin Emerson, and then you have Denzel Ward, and all you need to do is upgrade the slot. And I think Makuba would be everything you want at slot. If he's there at 94, I'm going to pick him. But 68, it's a little early for him, right? I wouldn't mind him at 68, right? But there's a chance that I can get Lathan, I can get Kevin, I can get all these guys that I want back there too. So Scatterboo looks really good here. He's a good receiving back. He's a strong running back. But, you know, running back wise, I feel good about Katron Allen. I feel good about Nick Singleton. There's just so many running backs in this class, right? Jordan James is back there. So I'm not really in a rush to take running back. I don't feel the need to trade back again. So I think I might go Makuba here and get me a really hard-hitting, strong safety / nickel DB who's going to be really good in run D. think that's what I want to do, right? This is a guy 76th grade in the SEC run D. Look at that, 28.6% incompletion, forced incompletion rate. Great coverage grade. Didn't have a super high missed tackle grade for somebody as small as he is, right? 14 run stops, 7 coverage stops. Passer rating allowed was the lowest. This guy who can cover, he can lay some wood. He has a nose for the football. He's a bit undersized. I think that's the main thing people know about Makuba is that he's undersized. Lathan Ransom is another guy you can go kind of in the same general direction, right? If you want a run stopping, Lathan Ransom has more of that traditional size that you're looking for. Now, he's decent in coverage. He's excellent in run defense, right? Not as high as a force incompletion rate, but his missed tackle rate's a little bit lower. His run defense grade is higher. And again, this is a guy who did this in the best conference in college football, the Big Ten this year, against some of the best competition. We saw him play well against Oregon 2 times, Penn State, some real deal football teams that he had to go up against, Tennessee. So you have no issue about competition there. Kevin Winston's a little bit more of an interesting one because he didn't play much this year because of injury, but he was excellent in 2023. You really want to look at that 2023 stuff with him. Let's actually pop that on out so we can look at his 2023 stuff instead of his 2021 stuff. So if we look at his 2023 stuff, what that tells us about him is he has a lot of tools. Great run defender, solid coverage guy. So it feels like Kevin Winston is the pick here, right? If you want to go that direction with this pick here. So the question is, hey, what do you value more? Do you value just getting a safety, somebody who can play a little bit of slot, somebody who can help you, knowing that you're losing Ronnie McLeod, you need somebody to kind of replace that role? Or do you want to get another running back? I feel like most people, most Browns fans, would just want to get Cam Skattebo and call it a day. I think this is where Browns fans and the Browns themselves will differ, and they will go with the value of the board overall and say, hey, yeah, we like Cam Skattebo, but we feel like we can move back, get 2 guys later on in this draft at 94, but we're not sure if Mukba is going to be there. We're not sure if Lathan Ransom's going to be there or Kevin Winston is going to be there. But we do know that if we slide back to 94, we can get Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, and then even further back, we can get Jordan James. So I think that's the mindset that they're going to use. Scarcity over everything here. So I'm going to go Kevin Winston Jr. here at pick 68. I don't think you can go wrong between the 3, especially if you're looking for a good run defender. I think all 3 will be there. Mukba kind of reminds me a bit of Mike Hilton. But let's get to now where we're at. All right, so we're at pick 94. We lucked out. Cam Skattebo's there. And Cam Skattebo's the pick, right? I'm going to go Skattebo here, 94. And I'm probably going to slide back, get somebody who can run up the middle like Katron Allen at 97. So that's who I'm looking at, right? The way that this shook out, I'm going to just go Skattebo here. Yeah, let's go Skattebo. Feel good about that. Let's get Skattebo. And then we're picking here again. And they're telling me running back's best on the board. I'm going to go get Katron. I like getting me a big physical guy. Real fun guy to watch at Penn State. Nick Singleton's the other guy. He's a bit more athletic, toolsy guy. He just went, I think. No, he didn't. He didn't go. Let's pull it up. Yeah, Nick Singleton's the other guy. A little bit more toolsy, right? Has more to stuff, a little bit more elusive, good gap grade, all this stuff here. But I like Katron better, to be honest with you. I like how he runs. I like how physical he is. He just reminds me of so many backs that you see work in the NFL. So I'm going to go Katron Allen here and be pretty happy with that. So many running backs in this class, you really can't go wrong. But getting 2, right? Third down back in Cam Skattebo, somebody who could be a real physical guy. Maybe actually I want to go RJ Harvey here if I went Cam. Because Cam isn't the most athletic guy that you could draft. Even though look at his elusive ratings. Like, he feels like a very athletic pick. No, I'm going to stick with my gut here. I'm going to go Katron. Yeah, let's go Katron here. All right, now I'm going to start looking at quarterback. We're in day 4. Now let's see what quarterback has to offer me. We got Will Howard, We got Riley Leonard, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord, Curtis Ward. I know a lot of Ohio State fans are really liking Will Howard. Good size on Will, right? Will's 6'5", 6'4", 234. Impressive that he had his play jump up this year from last year, especially with the jump up in competition. Really good deep ball grade. Intermediate grade's pretty strong here, right? Pressure grade. Time to throw. Really like that it's not super high here, right? You want a quarterback to get rid of the ball on time. The issue with Will is that he does some things in some games that makes you question, like, what is he thinking? But he's really cut that down as of late, which I think is a good thing. You watch him in that Rose Bowl, and he looks very impressive. So you think, hey, let's see here. So what I want to look at with Will Howard is his time to throw on passes down the field. So intermediate passes, 280, deep ball, 291, and he's pretty good accuracy-wise. On these passes, he's been big-time throw turnover worthy play. This medium stuff concerns me, but the deep ball stuff, I mean, part of that's just having Jeremiah Smith on your roster, right? That's the other thing you got to consider with Will Howard. How much of this is just like, okay, he plays at Ohio State, and Ohio State has ungodly talent at wide receiver. Like, it'd make anybody look good, right? Let's look at some of his stuff while he was in Kansas State, where he didn't have the same talent. So he seems to be a pretty consistently decent deep ball thrower. He does throw more interceptions, though. And his intermediate stuff is a bit questionable. So that's the big question with Will Howard. If you want to take him, got to answer that. If we're looking at Riley Leonard here, right? Riley Leonard, again, another decent season. Nice deep ball grade. Intermediate grade's fine. No pressure grade's good. His pressure grade is terrible. Time to throw's fine. Let's kind of do a little bit of a deeper look on him, right? He's another transfer guy. Came from Duke to play for Notre Dame. Playing around more talent. And some of that is more impressive because he's playing a more difficult schedule. But some of that makes you ask the question, like, okay, look at Riley Leonard here, right? Now, he's a little bit better on the intermediate stuff, but he doesn't throw much here, right? 22% of his passes are there. He's only thrown 37 of those passes. If we go back to 2024 this year with Notre Dame, little bit better of an intermediate passer than Will Howard. Same athletic ability. Both these guys are decent athletes, good deep ball ability, but the intermediate ability is a little bit better with Will. Let's see. Is Jackson Dart available? I know a lot of people like Jackson. Jackson Dart is here. He's also somebody you would consider in the same kind of range of quarterback. Now, good deep ball grade on him. The intermediate grade's pretty strong here. Let's go back and look at Riley Leonard's time to throw on those intermediate passes. About 296. I don't love that. It's a little high. But let's go Jackson Dart. It's a little bit more messy here, right? 7 big-time throws, 5 turnover-worthy plays, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So a little bit more messy in the intermediate part of the field. But a 280 time to throw here. So that's going to be intriguing to look at for him, right? The deep ball stuff is there. There's some production here. I think the Browns find themselves more intrigued with the Jackson Darts and the Riley Leonards of the world than the Will Howards of the world. If Jackson Dart is their guy, then you can wait here, right? You can wait till 204 and take a chance on him potentially being there. Riley Leonard, depending on what he does in the playoffs, he might jump up boards. He might go early. I don't know who I prefer between these two yet because I have not gone through enough Riley Leonard tape to have a real opinion on him. And the same is true with Jackson Dart. Now, Corey Kennan, who I've had on the show, I think he did a great job with his weighted on target project. Basically, he charted a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft class and measured how accurate they are given the throws that they have had by actually like watching them and going through it. I will link his article down below. Make sure you check it out. It's really good stuff there. It tells you what quarterbacks are accurate with the throws that they have. If you look at Jackson Dart, of all the quarterbacks that are left, He probably is doing the best out of all of them, right? More accurate here with the deep ball, more accurate here with the outside number stuff, over the middle stuff, pretty accurate, short game accuracy. His raw on target about 78.1, and he's taking a decent amount of shots downfield. So that is who you would probably want to lean toward at this point, is maybe Dart if you're the Cleveland Browns. Check out Corey's stuff. He does really good draft analysis. Make sure you keep an eye locked on him. But Dart feels like the pick here, especially if you're going to lean into what Stefanski does. This is a fine pick to make if you just want to see what you got in the guy, right? Now, another option for the Browns, because again, we got all these extra picks, right? We've already made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 selections. So we really don't need to make 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them, right? So maybe we just go take best player available here, watch the board, and between 105 and 204, we try to go ahead and get Dart if that's the guy that we decide that we want. Could be Carson Beck, who was a really good prospect last year, right? This year had a bit of a regression. Same kind of question, but in reverse that Will Howard has. Will Howard got surrounded by NFL talent at wide receiver. He looks really good right now. Carson Beck had all his NFL talent at wide receiver taken away. He looks bad. So what's more important? How you look with that talent, how you look without that talent. It's the big question here with Carson Beck. But that's where you're at. I think on the Browns, we already took 2 running backs. Is there an edge there? I don't know much about K'Mon Rucker. Maybe somebody in the chat does. Johnny Cornelius is still here at 105, huh? Nick Singleton, I already took the safety. And maybe I could draft a linebacker. Let's see what linebackers are available. Yeah, if nobody blows me away, I'll just take Dart and forget it. But Stutzman's there. I like Stutzman. Kaiser. Oh, Kobe King's there. I might take Kobe King. Really good athlete. Really, really good athlete. Pass rush, grade. Run defense, grade. Good coverage, grade. So Kobe King's going to be the pick here. If nobody else pops up that I love, I'm going to go Kobe King. I did not address the interior, so let me see interior. Shamar Turner, CJ West. I can get him later. I can get a D tackle that I'll be like satisfied with later in this draft. I think I'm gonna go Kobe King here. Real freaky, athletic guy, toolsy guy to Penn State. Look, this is gonna have hella Penn State players in this mock. Penn State's got really good players. Penn State's in the position they are in for a good reason. They've got really good, really battle-tested players there at Penn State. The program doesn't have the results that you would want, but really good team there. All right, so the mock draft for Pro Football Focus Machine just shat out on me for whatever reason. So I cannot finish the draft in the way that I want to, but imagine that I took Kobe King there. Imagine that I traded up or got Jackson Dart at 205, and what I do with the rest of the draft is what I do with the rest of the draft, but I got all the top 100 picks out the way. That is just one example of many examples of how the Browns can maneuver and leverage the number 2 pick to really supercharge this team with talent, top 100 talent. Just think about the lack of top 100 picks that the Cleveland Browns have had over the last few years. Yeah, since the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns since 2022 have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top 100 selections. In just those 3 years, just 7 top 100 selections. I'm talking about in this mock draft scenario, maneuvering it so you get 7 top 100 selections in 1 year, right? You're talking about not rebuilding, reloading. This is how you reload, right? You leverage what you have to get the most you can while still being able to get a blue chip guy like Abdul Carter. That is how the Browns have to operate. I don't mind trading back, but trade back and make sure you can still get the guys that you want, that you can still feel really good about the quality of prospect that you make. Because if you trade back, get a ton of picks, and you're making a ton of compromises, then you're not getting a draft class that you're going to feel really good about. That is how I feel the Browns could go about it one way. This could shake out a lot of different ways. But having the number 2 overall pick gives you a lot of leverage if you're the Cleveland Browns. And if you're a Browns fan, you should hope that people lose their mind, get stupid over these quarterbacks. Because, look, none of these quarterbacks are your long-term solution, but they don't know that. So you got to hope they get stupid over quarterback, because that's how you're going to get the best deal possible for yourself. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.